most of us, we live, but we just we pray for death every night when we go to sleep, bro, because it would be easier, and we don't see a point.
Welcome everyone from everywhere, and this video will be a slight break from my usual content because today I decided to go to the western part of Asheville, North Carolina, which is where I live, and interview a homeless person, because that part of the city, West Asheville it's called, is known for its heavy homeless population and heavy drug use. And I wanted to go down there and interview somebody and see what it was all about living on the streets in West Asheville. Make sure to stick around after the interview for my final thoughts on the whole situation and just how the interview went. But yeah, I'll see you afterwards. Enjoy the interview. All right, I'm with my man Sketty here. We just met. He's giving me his time of day, so I appreciate it. And yeah, so just give me a little bit about your background. How did you end up here in Asheville?
Man, my dad ended up, his name's Pinnacle. He's kind of like a traveling legend, I guess. Traveler community. Well, I came to find him here in Asheville, and we find out if he was my dad or not. Found out he was, and he had retired here from traveling. I just come off the road, did all 48 3 times over.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But found him, took a paternity test, and found out like I actually have a living relative now. So
that's great. Is he still around?
He went to NOLA for a little while.
Okay.
He's always gonna have that in him. He's gonna get that wild hair, and he's gonna take off.
So
Train hoppers don't live down too easily.
And where are you originally from?
I was born in Palermo, Sicily.
No way.
To come to the United States when I was just before 3 years old. Yeah, my mom's 100% Sicilian. I was first like half breed, I guess is what they call you.
That's crazy because my grandpa is from Palermo, Sicily.
Really?
Yeah. No joke.
My grandfather was a Castellano. My grandmother was Rosalie Gambino.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a lot of history.
That's
right
funny.
there.
Yeah, my grandparents immigrated from Sicily. Well, my grandpa. My grandma's from Poland, but
see, that's what kind of happened with us was Castellano is a notoriously Spaniard name, but that's when they spelled it E-N-O. The A-N-O came from Spaniards that come to Italy generations before Italy had ousted the undesirables or whatever to the island of Sicily.
Gotcha.
So, it was kind of cool that if you go back even past the Sicilian heritage, there's the Spaniard side of me too.
So you immigrated here really young then?
Yeah, I was about almost 3. I was like a week away from being 3 years old. Yeah.
Okay. So what's life like in West Asheville? Like as a local, I come down here and just get coffee and go back home or whatever,
you're missing a ton of things that are like just really cool. You got all these little places when you're walking across the Haywood Strip, and you're walking from the beginning of the street down here where it turns off of Klingman, all the way down to like where you're going to Deeperview area.
Yep.
Man, just be on the lookout for the left and right. You see old German housing, like the German-built housing that has history. You have the old punk house, the punk crash house that's over there on the left after the Finest. You have one of the first video arcades centered to adults in the southeast period, right up there after that. There's so much history around here, bro, and like the historical society doesn't even have like the funding to be keeping things up, but the people do.
Yeah.
That's what we need to get back to anyway, man. All this money hungering and people from the outside coming in and trying to change up everything, man. Like it's kind of like with the homeless, they put so much on us. And granted, a lot of us need our asses whooped. Excuse my French, but that's a true thing for what we do. But there's a few of us that come out here and we try to regulate.
Yep.
We try to make sure that the experience of someone that comes here as a tourist or experience of someone just in general that lives here or don't, we try to make sure that we don't impact that in a negative way and we don't let anybody from our community. Because we're not homeless. We could go in a home. We could work 9 to 5. Most of us could. But we see something more to life. And that's why we consider ourselves home free. There's nothing less to us. We're just free of that burden, that stress, all those little first world problems that we don't have to worry about. Because we fine with our life.
Yep.
But everybody else wants to make a big fuss and use that as, well, look at them, they're homeless, so it's their fault. Bro, when the hurricane came through, tell me why all that money was budgeted against the homeless. Hiring new staff in the police department, they didn't get with the fact that right before the hurricane, we had 3 officers that lost their job to doing their job wrongly and putting violent measures to a situation that didn't need it. I mean, you know, but we don't hear about that. We hear about the hurricane, the flash flood, and now we got to get rid of the homeless.
So what happened to the homeless community during the hurricane? How did it impact you?
We lost?
Really? Like in the floods, right?
I've seen friends of mine, been friends for a long time, wash away.
Wow.
I have not seen friends of mine that were born bred and planned to die here and might have, if that flash flood had washed them somewhere else. They still have not been found, bruh. Nobody's going out and looking for these kids anymore. Nobody's going and looking for my people.
Yeah.
No, what they're doing is, while we're sitting here at a loss with 100 people that we have, as a community, have come up with the names of that we've lost in all this.
Yep.
We're not even so much as giving an obituary.
Yeah.
We don't see our deaths. We don't see none of that in the newspaper. We're treated like second-class citizens, and our deaths don't matter to these people that are around here because we're homeless. They view us like trash, like subhuman, bro. That's not cool.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to get the opportunity to talk to you, because there's so much more to a person, you know? And
we just people, bro. We bleed, we breathe, and we breathe the same way as anybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
if they want to point the finger at us and look at us like we're the carriers of the plague or something, we're not.
And I'm guessing
a lot of us are just misunderstood, and this don't do a damn thing to help it.
And I'm guessing you've probably had some struggles in life and some hard times.
We all have. But
yeah.
People don't know the backstory. They don't care about that. They care about presently. And that's all the big dollar wants to do in this country.
Yeah.
Is push the present. What is it cool to be into today? Not what was it for leading up to this day.
Yeah.
You know, if people took the time, people that really don't want to hear nothing from us, if people took 5 minutes to have a conversation, 5 minutes would change so much.
Yep.
Not in everybody, but it would be the change we wish to see in the world, man. We just want to be treated fairly like people.
See, I'm learning that now, because if I'm walking down the street, I might be scared, but now I'm talking to you.
There ain't nobody you should be scared of in these streets. There's some people that, yes, they look weird, they look out of the range of normal, and people get irked by that, and they get, you know, a little bit, oh. There's some people that don't regard other people.
Mm-hmm.
But how can you be fairly, really coming up with a reasonable idea that you can tell these people that we have to conduct ourselves in this way when y'all ain't even seeing what's wrong with us? If they saw this man was a paranoid schizophrenic, maybe they wouldn't be so hard on him. If they saw this other person was a drug user because they had been treated badly and poorly in their life, maybe they wouldn't shun them.
Yeah.
Maybe they wouldn't get a preconceived idea and stereotypical bullshit that they're following behind. Because not all of us are heathens. Not all of us are fucked up. Not all of us are evil. Not all of us go around throwing rigs everywhere.
Yeah.
Not all of us want to live like this.
Yeah.
But they don't give us a fucking chance.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can only imagine. I'm sure it's...
We're just people.
Yeah.
Bleed, breathe, and breathe, just like anybody else.
Is
Financial stature and all that other bullshit don't mean a fucking thing. We're human. And as far as I can remember, in school, there was only one race they talked about. That was the human race.
Yeah.
So there ain't nothing different, what's in your pocket, what's on your skin, none of that. We just don't get that opportunity.
What's your experiences like on a day-to-day basis in West Asheville?
Dealing with hate and oppression, let's see. You get little glimpses of where we can sit down. I guess we're expected to constantly move all the time. But then get on to us about drug use. That makes no sense to me.
Are you ever, like, scared in any way of other people?
I'm scared of being normal.
Yeah.
I'm scared of being just like these preconceived ideas, having people that sit here and make life harder on another human being. It's just like slavery. Only they don't demand nothing of us. They don't want us to have anything. Not even a spot in the shade this big to fucking sit down for 1 minute. No, without you catching a trespassing charge or police being up your ass.
Is it easier?
But yeah, let me see a yuppie family or normal people sit down in that park. Any park across America. No problem. Asheville, huge problem if you got a book bag on.
Yeah.
Is
it
easier? They weren't even homeless. Dumbass cops don't even get that shit. You can't look at a book and judge it by its cover. Ain't that what they taught everybody? Ain't nobody listening except us, huh? maybe it's that home shit that gets in their mind and blocks out the ability to reason anymore. I guess, because I'm home free and I'm going to be home free. Police can suck my dick, the community can suck my dick if they don't like it. I'm going to be here because I'm a person and I have a right to be. And I dare somebody to show me different.
Do you find it easier in certain parts of the city?
I mean, really it's just all the same thing. I mean, back in the day, you used to have a lot more love on the west side for traveling folk.
Yeah.
I promise you that. But nowadays, nah, it's just pretty much all through thing. You know, you got people like, there's restaurant owners, not to say any, you know, I don't want to blurt out no names or anything, Wild Wings in West Asheville. But that guy has pulled guns on us for just simply breathing over here, not even on his property.
Yeah.
Pulled out a gun and threatened our lives over the fact that we took 1 second to get something out of our bag, like a hat or maybe an umbrella. Yeah, and you got to look up at an AR-15 that's not even legally, it's not even legal for him to own that. Just saying.
Do you guys support each other out here? Has everybody got each other's backs? Is that kind
I
of...
promise you, before we lost that about 100 and some odd people that we've lost in the last 5-6 years, yeah, we did. Nowadays, no. Nobody really considers the human element to anything anymore.
It's a little more selfish, you feel like, around here lately?
Jaded.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say selfish, jaded.
Yeah.
There's nobody out for, you know, envy and hunger and jealousy. It's just hurt people fucking doing nothing but hurting other people.
Yeah.
It sucks.
So do you move around a lot, or is this kind of your home base?
And this is where I will be, and until somebody shows me otherwise, or I realize that I'm in another state or city, this is where I stay.
Got a cigarette for you there.
Appreciate that.
Hello.
I don't plan on, I mean, I was thinking about going out west, but really, there's so much to do here.
Yeah.
And, you know, here recently, I just got kind of a little hair up my ass, so to speak, to start doing some things to change some of this shit here.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go about it the way we are left with, the way they want to go about it. Then what do you do to fight oppression? What do you do? What does Art of War say you want? You want peace. You got to start preparing.
What's the support like from the community as far as like food or water? Like, do people...
Man, there's some good places.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Food and water, 12 Baskets, Haywood Street Church, A-Hope is... the problem is that the government is sticking their funding all the way into the roots and the bases and flower beds of the people that actually care, actually know the problem, they hear the problem, and they address it in a fundamentally right way. The problem is that once the government starts giving you that first dollar, you're a slave to what they want.
Yeah.
You no longer can do what you feel in your heart, which is what a lot of these places started with, what they felt in their hearts. Maybe, and you know, there's not a lot of love out here. It's hard. It's probably harder for, normally speaking, it's probably harder for one home free or street kid to make it 24 hours than it is for a family of 4. A lot harder. They tease you. They say, oh yeah, we got this and we're offering this help and this help just coming, and you go and jump through their hoops to find out that you just have a directional arrow pointing you help this way.
Yeah.
And it never ends. You never get to the point that's actually going to help you. They figure if they stall us off enough, we'll root ourselves out. The police will do their jobs as law-abiding, community.
Do you and other people around here get hassled by police a lot? Is it like every day or
3 times today?
Yeah.
Alone for sitting down. Didn't have nothing out. Wasn't doing drugs. Wasn't fucking beating somebody in the head with a machete. Wasn't doing nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I was minding my business, taking a breath, and trying to calm down from where I was previously upset.
Yep.
Wasn't raising hell. Wasn't on trespassing private property. But here comes a cop car nonetheless. What's your name? I mean, y'all run it 40 times a day. You don't think you remember by now?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can spit it for you like anybody else, or you can take a good look at a T-bone steak by shoving your head up a bull's ass. You might want to take my word for it. But get it right the first time. That way you don't get left with the only option is shoving your head up a bull's ass.
Would you say there's more good people out here on the streets in West Asheville or bad?
There's people. Good and bad ain't for me to judge. I ain't part of that procedure. That's the man, and I don't hold nobody down.
Yeah, because even in my experience, just at work, there's people who...
Man, you got lawyers and judges that walk around and have been convicted of murdering in the most brutal ways in this country.
Mm-hmm.
You can't judge a book by its cover, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this person's good, that person's bad. Maybe the individual themselves should take a look at themselves and realize that most people react by the energy that you bring with you. So if you're a good or bad person, that's what you really should pay attention to. Are you a good person? You probably gonna have no problem out here. And if you did, for many of us, the rest of us would take care of that for you.
Yeah.
Because good people deserve that.
Support.
But if you're a bad person, I mean, if you put negative in the world, what you trying to get out of it?
Is there any things that you've witnessed that have been kind of crazy?
I can't speak on that.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to speak on that. I'm not going to speak on that. I've seen some shit that would put people whose names are very recognizable in Asheville, those individuals, in some serious hot water. I've seen plenty of it.
Yeah.
But good and bad people exist. It's possible to do the right thing for the wrong reason and the wrong thing for the right reason. And while I may not agree with some things, people sure wouldn't agree with a lot of things I do. For what reason I do it, that's for me to be okay with.
So would you say that you're happy, or what do you think about that as far as just on a day-to-day basis? Are you kind of like joyous and enjoy yourself, or you wish there was something else that you could do?
I used to be happy. It didn't look like it all the time, but I used to be.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah. You have no idea.
I don't, but I really do appreciate you taking the time and giving me your time, and I won't take too much of it. I'll let you go.
Gotta start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing.
Yeah, and I mean,
change
you know,
that you wish to see in the world, it's got to start with you. If you show that you want this change, people see that. When people see it, it inspires and it motivates. It's like a smile.
Yeah.
Just ain't nobody laughing and smiling no more, because this ain't time for games. This is serious. We've lost so many people. Don't even get an obituary notice. Don't even get a mention in the paper, not even as a class of people. But yet they treat us like one, a different one.
Is there a big issue with overdosing, or do you see that happen?
That issue happens in the most best of neighborhoods all the way down to the crummies. Is there an issue? Yeah, we'd like for people not to die on us, not to OD. But maybe ask the question that needs to come before that. Why are these people turning to drugs and having to use them to a point of OD? Because maybe if you understood that question and understood what the problem is with that one that leads to that, maybe you can do some help as far as, like, you know, people not feeling like they got to do so much slow that they can't breathe anymore and they go on.
Yeah.
Or maybe just with the general idea that most of us, we live, but we just we pray for death every night when we go to sleep, bro, because it would be easier and we don't see a point. But some of us get that spark back every once in a while.
Just in little moments.
Man, moments can be as measured and as quicker than a second, longer than a century, bro. But all it takes is a moment. Things turn 180 degrees and you're right back on track. You're right back to the good side of things. Vice versa. The thing that people have to learn how to do is adapt to the change, not change to what is changing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go with the change. That loses you. You might as well have been lost in the flood like so many of us.
Yeah.
But, you know, they haven't offered anybody on these streets any kind of outreach as far as, like, you know, mental trauma that may have come from seeing your friends wash down a river that just appeared out of no fucking where seconds before. They haven't reached out and wondered if any of us have been scarred, torn mentally from what we've seen, what we've felt, what we've had to endure.
So there isn't much assistance
there's
with...
just like, that's the major thing. Why do you think so many kids do drugs? We're either bored or we got too much shit going on that we can't handle.
Mm-hmm.
You either want to stack us in the morgue or you want to stack us in rehab. I mean, that's all this city does anymore. Put you in a cage. If you're breathing, then you're in jail. If you're not breathing, then you're in the morgue. Put you in a cage, in a box.
Yeah.
What happened to just sustaining life? Like, we're given dominion for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Well, why aren't we doing our job? The one thing that whatever created us, or whoever you believe it's in, I mean, why aren't we doing that one thing we're supposed to do? Helping thy other man, thy brother, thy sister, kids, anybody, man. I don't care if a dude's killed 50 million people. It could have some insight or some thought that could change a whole nation. Just blink of an eye. Why does nobody love like that anymore? Why does nobody hope like that anymore? It's because where's there room to when you're pressed down so badly like we are?
So that was my interview with Sketty. Shout out to him for giving me his time of day and talking a little bit. That was cool. Yeah, I have a little bit of mixed feelings about how the whole thing went. I was hoping to get more in depth about what happens on the street, the dangers he faces, what the day-to-day life is like, you know, the other people of the homeless community, if some are good, some are bad, if his life feels like it's in danger, all that type of stuff, right? I was hoping to get a glimpse into life on the street for him specifically, but every time I tried to get a little personal or dig a little deep to try to get like behind the scenes of like drug use and bad things that might go on, he was a little defensive and deflecting. And you know, I get it. He didn't want to talk bad about his friends and his community that he lives around, which is respectable. But yeah, I got the sense that he was blaming everybody else and everything else for him and his friends' problems, you know? I mean, I'm sure that came through in the interview as well. There was never any reflection about himself and the homeless community and the very openly drug use that goes on. I mean, right when I left him after the interview, I walked by a couple of his friends that were just sitting on a wall on the main street in West Asheville doing, I'm guessing, fentanyl or heroin, but there was needles and spoons and baggies. And I just walked by and I'm like, man, like, I don't know. It's hard to feel bad at that point because, you know, he was alluding to, you know, we should feel bad for him in the homeless community. Nobody cares about them. People treat them unfairly and they look at them negatively. And then it's like, I don't know, man, you know, it's hard to have empathy for what he was saying because I have a lot of experience with the homeless community here in Asheville. It is an issue. And it's not a secret that they do steal, they do commit crimes, they do drugs right out in the open. They pass out on the sidewalks where tourists are walking with families, kids, and it's just not a good look. They do loiter. They do pull knives on people. One of my coworkers had a knife pulled on him by a homeless guy because he told them not to do drugs in the building. And then the guy pulled a knife on him. So I don't know. I mean, I get where he's coming from in the sense that like they are looked at negatively. And in my head, I'm just like, well, yeah, dude. I mean, you guys do not have a good reputation. You know, a lot of them do just sit around, do drugs out in the open, and it doesn't look good. And I do have empathy for people who have trauma in their life, people who had terrible parents or just a terrible upbringing and went down the wrong road. It could have happened to anybody, you know? But yeah, I mean, he didn't want to go too in depth about the things that go on the streets, which was kind of a bummer. It was more so the interview just turned into him blaming society, blaming the police, blaming the normal working people like me. And yeah, so that was just kind of a bummer to me to hear him kind of just play the blame game and be like, oh, it's their fault. We do drugs because of them. We do drugs because life is so hard. And it's like, I guess, man, you know, life is hard. I get that. But yeah, I mean, overall, I appreciate him giving me the time of day. He didn't have to do that. And I did want to push, but not too hard. Because at the end of the day, the dude had a huge knife on him. It was right in his backpack with the handle sticking out. And I didn't want to piss him off, you know? That was my goal. And whenever I felt like he was getting a little irritated, I was like, all right, I don't know this guy. I just met him. I'm going to kind of tread lightly, I guess. So, yeah, but it was good overall. It was some good insight. And it just didn't end up being like a look inside the life on the street. It was just him saying it's everybody else's fault that we do drugs. It's everybody else's fault that we're homeless and we're on the street. But, you know, he did say something. He said, we're not homeless, we're home free. And he said right out in the open, he just admitted it. We want to live this way. Something like that. He said something to the effect of, we don't want the stresses of a normal life, like a job or a home or, you know, bills or taxes or whatever. And it's just like, well, there you go, man. You know, he just admitted we want to be on the street. We don't want responsibility. We don't want to work for anything or better ourselves. So that plays into the thing where it's like, all right, well, I don't know, man. It's hard. You know, you want me to feel bad. You want the viewers to feel bad. But it is tough when it's just blame this person, blame society, blame everybody. Nothing is our fault. And it's just kind of sad. It's sad because at first he kind of came across like he was he enjoyed his life and enjoyed his community and stuff like that for like just a little bit. But then it turned into him saying like, oh yeah, like I wish I die every night and there's nothing to live for and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it's tough. It is tough. I'm sure it's hard. You know, I don't blame him at all for feeling the way he feels. Life is tough, especially as a homeless person on the street. And there's a reason most of them have knives on them, because it's probably not safe and they have to watch their back because of each other. I don't really think it's the doctor or the business owner who's a danger to him, you know? I think it's other homeless folks who have mental health issues, clearly, and have weapons on them and have nothing to lose. I think that is his biggest danger, and that's why he carries a weapon on him, and that's why so many of them have weapons. And yeah, I mean, I think that just about sums it up for my thoughts on the whole situation. I definitely didn't like how he was just blaming everybody but himself. That isn't cool with me. You know, you have to take some personal responsibility. Something went wrong. It could have been from a child or whatever. But regardless of the situation, we all have struggles. We all have hard times, some more than others. And not everybody ends up turning to hard drugs and ends up on the street. So yeah, I mean, he mentioned he felt free and that he is free. And, you know, that's good that he thinks that, but he's not free at all. He's stuck there. I'm assuming he doesn't have much money. I'm assuming he doesn't have like a passport or maybe even an ID. So he is very restricted. He's stuck on the street, and it's a shame, but you know, we all make choices in life. But yeah, I think that about does it. So shout out to Sketty once again. Stay tuned for more videos every Monday. And until then, I'll see you next time. Like and subscribe, baby. Peace.